The Crypto Hour of Power, powered by Orange Brick Road.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Oh, let's go, Brandon. Indeed, it is Aaron here at Edge Radio Australia. That's
What
me.
was that, brother?
That was me having a little fun at your expense, mate. Let's go, Brandon, right? Hey, come on, let's get into it. Hey,
That's nice, mate.
oh, mate, look, I have my moments.
Good job.
Hey, welcome to, of course, the Crypto Hour of Power. It is great to have you, mate. You're on the line. I don't know where you are in the world. I'm going to assume you're sunning yourself on a beach somewhere very comfy, right?
I'm in my trackie dash at the office, mate.
Yeah, look, I knew that was the truth. Okay, but, come on, I want to talk it up a little bit. Hey, mate, apparently you've got a special guest on the phone as well, and we're going to talk about crypto and what's going on this week in the old market.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's great to be back. I'm sorry we couldn't do it in person.
It happens.
I like seeing your body old head and your whole personality in the live, but, just time constraints at the moment. So, yeah, it's Crypto Hour of Power where we talk all things crypto. I'm Brandon from orangebrickroad.com.au. We are a crypto service where we help people on board and do everything in crypto. Today we've got a special guest on. He is the CEO, the big kahuna of StormRake, which is a crypto brokering service that we use at Orange Brick Road. We'll go into a little bit about his background, what's the difference between an exchange and a brokering service, and why you should use them differently, and then go into the market where we see it's going, maybe have a few coins that we might call out, et cetera, et cetera. So are you still on the line there, Michael?
Yes, thanks for the intro, Brendan. Much appreciated. I've never been called a big kahuna before, but that's great.
I find that hard to believe, mate. I find that hard to believe. All right, so generally how we kick things off is, before we do, just a little segue, don't ever play I'll have a private conversation.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Don't play those communists here on Edge Radio Australia. I know exactly where you're going.
Beautiful. Took it right out of my mouth.
Oh, look, what can I say? Look,
did you do that?
I did that quite deliberately.
You did that just to annoy me. Yeah, cool, brother. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, dear.
As soon as I heard it come on, I was like, hello.
Oh, dear.
Mate. No worries. All right, so flying into it. Michael, like you said, he's the CEO of StormRake, which is a brokerage service. If you just, because obviously you didn't wake up, after high school one morning and then decide that you're going to get into crypto, or maybe you did. Or maybe you had some jobs or stuff before you got into crypto and the crypto brokering side of things. So I just want to sort of hear the evolution of what you're doing pre-crypto, and then what actually made you get into it. Because we hear about it all the time, but eventually you have a penny drop and you go, all right, geez, I need to have a look at crypto. Just start off your journey preamble, and we'll go from there.
There was no crypto when I finished uni, of course. Yep. Bitcoin started in 2009, or the white paper was in 2008. I'd already been in the industry for 8 years prior to that. I started off kind of in banking and finance. I worked at ANZ, CBA, and Goldman Sachs, and then we don't really like a lot of those guys anymore. But that's okay. I always had an interest in finance, economics. I finished a double degree in commerce and economics at Monash University. Always had an interest in markets, really, any kind of market. After kind of the banking stint, I worked in commodities. I worked at what was Dodo Power and Gas at the time. And by the way, we had an hour of power as part of the retail offering, which was free electricity. Yeah, free electricity for a certain hour of the day. I think I named it that, hour of power. So there you go.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, but that was really interesting. That was a financial product as well, electricity. As a retailer, you don't really create the power. You're not a generator, and you don't send the power to the house. That's the distributor. As a retailer, you're just sending the invoices and managing the financial risk because you're buying at a certain price and you're selling at a different price, right? And it's a market that free floats and changes prices. But around that time, my partner and I, my current partner in the StormRake business, Doug, he introduced me to Bitcoin. And it spoke to me straight away, in terms of what you said, what you asked before, which is, how did you get into it? What was the spark? That was kind of the spark back then. It was 2015, very early still in the piece. And to me, it was an absolutely incredible idea straight away. It's the first asset in the history of the world that has a finite fixed supply. And from an economics point of view, that is really, really powerful because no other asset is like that, not even gold. You can still pull more out of the ground if the price is higher. But Bitcoin has an absolute finite supply of 21 million. That's where we kind of got started. Originally we started trading and we were doing arbitrage trading, which is, playing between the exchanges and trying to make returns when prices are incorrect in the market. Over time, we decided to kind of quit our jobs and do it full time. And we started StormRake as originally a trading entity. But down the track, it became something completely different. It became a place for our clients to buy Bitcoin and other coins in the safest possible way and the easiest possible way. So that's kind of the journey. That's where it started.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of a segue, but it's just got me really, really curious. Like, you said that you're basically a broker for power. I mean, what does that mean? Like, you were like the middleman? Like, you would buy it at a certain price and then store it, and then when it was ready to go up, and then sell it to the consumer or the retailer?
The funny thing is, because you're based in Western Australia, the system's a little bit different over there. Technically, Western Australia is not part of the Australian electricity grid. No. It's called the NEM, National Electricity Market. It's not really connected to Western Australia because, of course, the distances are so huge. So normally you have generators that make the power. You've got distributors that actually run the power lines and send it to people's houses. And then you've got the retailer at the end. That's who you actually face as a consumer. So when you've got your normal house electricity, you sign up to an account, and that might be AGL, or it might be Energy Australia, or it might be Dodo. So we were one of those retailers. Providing kind of that end contract with the client. There was about 200,000 customers that we had at the time, and I became head of energy at Dodo at Focus Group.
Wow, okay, I never knew that, and it's not unusual for Western Australia not to be a part of the rest of Australia. We're trying to do our own thing.
Oh, come on now, guys. We've got two nice tin cans and a very long piece of string. That's how we communicate, right?
That's right, man. WA, wait a while.
Damn straight.
No, I love this state. I love this state. It's just the beautiful landscape, and the people here are great. So I'm not going to say anything bad about it.
Agreed.
Okay,
that's incredible. I'd love to get over there pretty soon.
Yep, we'll just have to make that happen, brother. Okay, so now we'll start talking some crypto. Now, you've got exchanges, a SEX, a centralized exchange. You've got a DEX, a decentralized exchange. Most people sit on centralized exchanges. It's more the people that have been in crypto that start using DEXs as they evolve with their knowledge. What is the difference between, say, a centralized exchange, say CoinSpot, CoinStash, which is a crypto exchange that we use, and a brokering service?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a couple of things. The exchanges are a bit different, where you have to do it all yourself, and you got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. And there's certainly a place for them, but it depends on the type of investor, I guess, that's using the service. For us, we're best used by a couple of different types of people. On the first hand, people that are kind of time poor and they have, let's say they're a doctor, they've got important work that they're doing, and they want someone to kind of do the work for them. They know they want to invest. They just call StormRake, call their broker, someone in Australia that can help them, and they can just say, I'd like to invest $50,000. Here's, go and do it for me, right? And we've got guys that will actually be able to do the whole journey for them. So it's kind of time poor people. And the other part is kind of older investors, people that are new to the space that need a bit of help, and they certainly benefit from a much higher level of service as well. If you've ever tried to get customer service out of an exchange, it's pretty damn difficult. So this is a full service. We've got our entire team in Australia in-house. Nothing's outsourced, and you can always come through and speak to an actual human being that is an expert in the field and can actually provide some help and guidance. That's the main thing. Now, the other part of it, of course, is the execution, and that just means instead of facing one order book on an exchange, you're actually getting the best price wherever it is. So we've got a system that goes and compares prices across the world. We're plugged into 30 different exchanges and 5 OTC desks, and we can actually compare the price and find the best possible price to buy that Bitcoin for you. So that's really powerful.
Exactly, because even we're talking about percentages, like, I mean, obviously you charge a fee for this service, but so do exchanges in a roundabout kind of a way. Is that, when you're buying to the Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, whatever it may be, the way that I look at it is you guys work on our behalf or the client's behalf to get more bang for the buck. So you're getting more crypto. So although you're paying a fee for that, in the long term, you're making that up with the extra crypto that you're getting by the service that you guys are providing. Would that be a safe way of putting it?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. At the end of the day, on exchanges, you're only facing that one price, and often exchanges will have a bit of a spread there. So the price that you're getting on that exchange may not be the best exchange worldwide. May not be the best price worldwide. So you've got to be careful of that. Whereas here, get the best possible price. Yes, that means you end up with more coins.
Well, I think we can all be very happy with that, hey? Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brother.
Hey, time for a break, gentlemen. Just sit back, relax, enjoy those tracky decks there, Brandon, because it's time for a bit of Aerosmith here on Edge Radio Australia.
Curious about cryptocurrency and want to learn more? Orange Brick Road offers expert crypto consulting and online courses to help you understand the exciting world of crypto. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced crypto user, Orange Brick Road can help you gain the knowledge and confidence you need to succeed. Take the first step towards mastering crypto with Orange Brick Road at orangebrickroad.com.au. Yesterday was the best day to learn crypto. Today is the second.
It is the Crypto Hour of Power here on Edge Radio Australia. We love the baby animals around here, and we only needed the one word. One word, mate. Can you sum up a sentence in that, Brandon? What do you reckon?
I can sum up a sentence about her in one word.
Not on radio.
Hot. Oh, absolute hot.
Well cleaned up. Beautiful.
Smoking hot. I was so in love with her back in the day.
Oh, I think you still are. I'm telling you. I think it's still alive.
I think I am, brother. Not only was she just extremely good looking, she just rocked it.
Rocked it, mate.
Her voice is great, the guitar.
Couldn't agree more.
Everything you want in a woman.
Okay, can we get back to crypto, please, before you need a private moment? All right, let's do that.
Except for cleaning. You definitely need the cleaning aspect. All right, cool. Where am I? Oh, that's right, we're doing the crypto.
We are.
All right. Michael's still there because we've been talking in the background. All right, so you've a big knowledge man in crypto and that sort of thing. Well, this is a hard one, and I've pretty much asked most guests. We won't spend a lot of time on it. but, you know, we were both in the crypto. I think you said 2015, 16.
Yeah.
I was in it 2016. And I remember all the way through the years of the crypto industry growing, because back then it was very much underground and you kind of needed to be an anarchist or a libertarian or have a neck beard and living off a train station or whatever in the basement. You know, it was very much underground. And they were all talking about how institutions are going to adopt it, banks are going to adopt it, it's going to be international store of value, you know, it's going to be reserved. And it was all just a meme and it was all talked about. Now that this is happening and has happened in this market cycle, how do you, well, first off, two-pronged question. How do you feel about that? And then we'll go into how that might affect the market cycle.
Yeah. I think I remember those days, certainly. There was crypto meetups. You'd go and meet people in a little room, and they were all a little bit strange. And, you know, some very clever guys, but they were in it for the technology, you know, all their little experience, as you said.
Yeah, or autism.
Autism, a lot of autism in the room for sure.
Yeah,
and we used to go to those meetups, and I'd be listening, and what is going on here? How will this ever be a serious industry? You know, and it's certainly changed so much. It's really incredible. Like, to think back then, sitting around that room, people talking about, well, corporations are going to get involved, and that's actually happened now. You know, and governments will one day want to be part of it. And now you've got, you know, El Salvador, that experiment and how well that's gone, and now the US setting up their reserve. It's really staggering, right? We've come such a long way since 2016. And yeah, I mean, I think investors that come in today, though, are very different to investors that were around in 2016. I think, you know, on chain we can see who's buying and who's selling. And I think over the last year, a lot of kind of whales that accumulated back even before 2016, you know, the 2013 whales that were buying for under $100, they're selling some of their bags to lock in a mammoth profit, obviously. Yeah. So we saw, what was the size of that wallet that sold maybe 2 months ago? It might have been 80,000 Bitcoin or something. Something staggering.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine holding on to that much for as long as they did.
I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Sorry, mate. Catch you from the Bahamas. Okay, go on.
I would like to think that guy that had 80 Bitcoin forgot that he had it and then remembered, as opposed to him knowing that he had it there the entire time and just had the absolute cojones to hold. You know,
I think the actual story with that wallet is very complicated. There's some stuff in the background. I don't even think we want to go into it in here, but
there's conspiracies going on.
yeah. But so you are seeing a lot of kind of old whales cashing in and whatever they do with that. And at the same time, the new investors coming in are quite different. There's a lot more traditional investors that have always held property and equities and funds and everything else that are now coming in. And they've been able to do that often as well because of the ETFs that have started at the start of last year. They've been incredibly successful because there's so much traditional money in traditional markets that is looking to get some exposure to Bitcoin because they know how fast it's growing and outperforming. And those funds have done incredibly well. The ETFs that launched at a faster pace than anything else that they've ever released as a product. So there is a lot of interest in Bitcoin in the crypto space, as we were talking in the break as well, Brendan. It is eye-catching. So
I kind of think it's more. I call them mid-scale investors. You know, when you're talking about people that have already been in the investment sphere
like you said, they're already sort of buying stocks, or they're real estate people, especially. A lot of my clients are real estate people, or have been in the stock market for a number of years, if not decades, that are now looking at crypto because it's moving and it's legitimacy. So you're starting to get a lot of that mid stuff that's coming through, as opposed to the neckbeard and the basement guys. Which I think
the legitimacy is really key, absolutely, because once you do see the corporations and governments buying in, then you think, okay, it's probably my time. It's probably my time to get in. I've waited long enough.
And the opening up of superannuation in crypto, has really, really been big. We've put through, I couldn't tell you, 70, 80 clients there, in superannuation crypto. Because it just makes sense. I don't even know what superannuation is paying. I think it's about 3.5% per annum. So with inflation, which they're saying is between 6 to 7%, it's really between 8 to 12%. You're actually going backwards in your superannuation. So people are looking at, okay, I have this exposure to super. Where can I put it? It's going to be more effective. So you are getting the commercial side. A lot of accountants, a lot of bookkeepers, a lot of financial advisors, so it's sort of the mid-strength sort of thing that's going on. I feel is given a different exposure to the market. Okay,
absolutely, and you're also investing for the long term in your super fund, right? So you're not too worried about volatility intra the year, year to year, because you might be investing for 40 years. So it's actually a perfect instrument in that. No financial advice, obviously, here. That's just my personal opinion.
Yes, it's not financial advice, educational purposes only. Of
course.
But, you'd be mad if you're not doing it.
But interestingly also, Brendan, the volatility in the crypto market has been reducing. This year, Bitcoin volatility is as low as it's ever been. And that could be because, obviously, it's growing and it's a bigger ship. But also, I think the market fundamentals are changing as well right now.
Yeah, 100%. Because it used to be 85 to 90% dips in the bear market. Yeah. I think going forward, it's just going to get less and less and less, because these institutions that are buying, like the likes of Michael Saylor, the MicroStrategy, Stanley Morgan, whatever they're called, the Bank of America, El Salvador, etc. They're in it for the long haul. I think that they won't dump, because they've got sort of a longer scale, and because of that, the bear markets are going to get less and less. So that sort of throws us into this next question. I'm on the fence, and we're spending a lot of time with looking at it with our team, and also to protect our clients and that sort of stuff. Is the basically for the newbies out there or people that aren't familiar with crypto or market cycles, basically they're working 4-year cycles. You generally have an 18-month, 2-year bear market, and then sideways for a bit, and then a bull market, and explodes at the end. We're currently in a bull market. There's different opinions, but they're saying it's going to be ending sort of late November, early December, and also other opinions because of the change in the market, finishing at the end of Q1. Because they always say the same thing, and it always happens, is this time it's going to be different, this time it's going to be different, and it just never has been. Where do you sit on that opinion?
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting question, and I was actually reading about it today, this morning, about this very topic. Now, in 2021 cycle, we were already talking about this, and as you said, it didn't turn out that way. We still had quite a hefty fall with everything that happened, and FTX and some corporate failures.
Celsius.
Yes, BlockFi. But this time around, the pattern is quite different, right? And on the way up, we're not going as fast as we normally would in a bull market.
Yep,
but exactly. That's kind of good, right? Yep. There's no explosive growth, but what we're seeing is periods. We're seeing periods of high growth, followed by periods of stagnation or accumulation.
That's right. Yeah.
6 months at a time of going sideways and just blowing out all the leverage longs and leverage shorts. And we can explain what that is. But
can we explain what that is in a bit of detail after a quick little break here?
Why
not? The girls are waiting. Edge Radio Australia, Soul Revival, and we are on the slide right now. Crypto Hour of Power. We have 9.5 minutes of nothing but the greatest quality education you will ever receive in crypto. Don't want to talk about it.
I'm looking forward to it.
You can tell you've been in radio for a while. You know to talk things up, brother, don't you?
Oh, mate, come on. You got to have some skills in life. What can you do? Now, guys, I could hear you in the background having a bit of a chat there. You just don't stop. I tell you, you might have a couple of things in common, just saying. Would you like to share those? Would you like to share those with the world?
Yeah, probably only about 10% of what we said we'll share with the world, brother. All right, but where we left off on market cycles, because it's really important. I mean, like, in a bull market, everyone's a genius. You can just throw a dart at the top 100, you're going to make money. Well, you'd assume so. It's when you're selling, understanding market cycles and that sort of stuff that's the important part of investing, when to take profit. So if we just pick up where we left off, Michael, about the cycles, where are you sitting on it?
Well, so to kind of finish what you were asking, whether we're going to have another kind of super cycle or we've changed it and it's changed forever. Look, I'm not 100% convinced as well, like you, but I think it's entirely possible that we're in a completely new paradigm of, all right, we're going to have more consistent growth, and we're going to have periods of accumulation. And if we're going to have a drop off, it might be limited to say 20%, not the old market crashes of 80%, 90%. And as a business owner, I'd much prefer that because there's kind of less risk in the system. And consistent accumulation, and for investors, it just means you can average in, you can get in slowly, and not face gigantic downside risks, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. My strategy is pretty simple, because you're time poor, you can't be concentrating and looking at zigzag lines on charts and that sort of stuff every day or even minutes a day. Is that I dollar cost in and I dollar cost out, which is probably the safest way of doing it. Now, speaking of dollar cost and putting money in, is there anything that you're kind of bullish on? I mean, we know that we've got Bitcoin. We know that we've got, the top sort of 20 or whatever. I generally, as a rule, and you might agree with this or might not or whatever, I've learned over the time is that when we set up portfolios, I do it similar to my portfolio that I've learned how to do it over the years, where I have about 40%, 50% what I call stables, which are the big ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, that sort of thing. Then I hit about 30 or 40% in mid caps, like Phantom, Sui, that sort of AVEX. And then I put about 10 or 15% into really lower caps or high risk ones. So it kind of spreads risk, but also can give you a lot of upside. Is that kind of how you would structure a portfolio, or you go your own way?
Look, StormRake generally we're Bitcoin first, and that's not to say Bitcoin only, but definitely Bitcoin first. And on my personal portfolio, you can have a look. It's mostly Bitcoin, right? It's what's called irresponsibly long Bitcoin. As a business, we are kind of trying to reduce the number of coins that we offer, because we actually offer quite a lot. It's probably 250 coins, but I don't think everybody needs that many coins to invest well.
That's probably what you did, and what I'm assuming you've done, and what I did when I first started. I would end up with 40 or 50 coins over a period of time.
And you just can't manage that many, and then you cull it back to about 15 or 20 or whatever, and then it grows again to another 30, 40, and then you've got to cull it, So, there's that much exposure in the market at the moment.
And some of these coins, you really need to know what you're doing, and you really need to know what's happening with that coin, because there was one recently where there was a changeover in the coin, and you had to physically do something on chain to move from one coin to the new one. And if you didn't do it, you ended up with only 10% of the value. So that's where you've got to be really careful that you actually know what you're investing in and understand it. And of course, if not, have a trusted broker like StormRake in your corner to be able to explain it. But back to your question, I think one coin that we listed recently, we haven't listed one for a long time for that reason that we're trying to reduce, is Asta. Which is an online DEX, a decentralized exchange. So we talked about exchanges before. A decentralized exchange is one that actually doesn't, that you only interact with online and doesn't have an obvious ownership structure. It's no KYC as well. And it's an interesting place to trade. It's already got quite a lot of volume trading on there. It's not for the faint-hearted in terms of doing it yourself, but it's an interesting new project, put it that way, that's capturing a lot of interest and trading volume.
How is that spelled? ASTA?
It's spelled ASTER.
ASTER.
Okay. If you go to astadex.com, that's the actual website. So in order to interact with it, you have to have your own wallets set up and everything else. But you can trade on there, and it's for people that are kind of native to crypto. But
this is a way to that
quite a bit.
Yeah, you can invest in the ecosystem by just buying the coin.
That's right. So you can do that directly through StormRake without having to set up your own wallets and trade it. Trade it yourself. Everything can be done. So that one is heading towards a $2 price, where our analysts first came across it when it was 20 cents. It's already kind of 10x in that time, which is pretty incredible. But that's what can happen.
Yeah, that's crypto.
That's crypto for you.
Okay. All right. Any more gems that are going to make me a lot of money?
I think generally no. I like to keep it very, very simple. It's all about how much Bitcoin you can accumulate over time. If you can hit one of these 10x's, amazing, but then bring it back to the Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
that's where 100%. You want to store your wealth long term.
Yeah, that's what I mean. My 10 or 15% of my portfolio is very sort of high risk or emerging technology. And as that increases in prices, I cash it out and then buy Bitcoin. Obviously you're not going to put everything you've got into these lower caps. But that's how I take profits, like you.
But I think in terms of the market cycle, I think we're quite subdued at the moment. Even silver and gold have been outpacing for a period of time, while things have been happening overseas, and the world is unstable, and people are running to the safe harbors, right? Yes. But I think Bitcoin's about to have another leg, and you want to be in it when that happens. It's the main thing.
100%.
I had a taxi driver the other day that I was talking to about investing, as you do, and he was asking me a bunch of questions. But by the end of the ride, I was kind of decided that this guy was never going to become a millionaire, no matter how much he talked about it. And the main reason is he's waiting for some sort of trigger to actually invest.
Is that right?
Yep. He's waiting for someone to tell him what that amazing new share is to invest. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be investing right now.
Now, gents, he's going to need some advice. He needs advice. Where can he get this advice? I know this place called Orange Brick Road. They're very good on education. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, orangebrickroad.com.au. You'll also see in our services tab, we've got about 16 different services we do, from wallet setup, security,
brokering exchanges, real world assets, everything you need in crypto. And on the brokering side of things, you'll see StormRake.
Yep.
And that's where you can get the information from that. And just as some advice out there, the people that are sitting on the sidelines, if you want to learn about Bitcoin, the best way to do it, buy some.
Yeah. Great. And you only have to start with a few dollars too. This is the thing. People are frightened. Yeah. They think, I've got to buy it. No. Just start with a little bit. I mean, it goes back to 8 decimal points. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, correct. So I had a client that
100 million
said to me once, he said to me once, he goes, I'm too late for Bitcoin because I can't afford one. I'm like, dude, you don't have to buy a full one, bro.
That's right.
But this is no. But yeah, the best way to learn about crypto is buy some, because then you've got your attention on it,
all right.
And you've got skin in the game.
Great.
Absolutely.
And that website again for Orange Brick Road, mate.
orangebrickroad.com.au for everything in crypto. Yeah, boy.
Hit that link if you want to know about StormRake as well. I wish I knew this back in my young years. It's Edge Radio Australia. Thank you, gentlemen, for a fantastic
back in the 40s.
bit of education. Thanks for that.
Thanks very much.
Oh.